That's a first. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. I am your host, Michael Karvelis, and this is Daily Dive. It is Friday, January 16th, 2026, and this show begins now. We are live streaming via the airwaves of North American Talk Radio on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel before you leave for other great shows, live sports, notifications for this show, and of course, other great content. On today's awesome episode, I'm just going to be solo today because we have some news from Captain Gamble Guy is an athlete, believe it or not, and Pat Gregoire, because of the time change, they're having meetings for Edmonton because they're in Edmonton. So we appreciate all of our regular Friday guests, but hey, we can do it, baby. Yeah, Captain is on the bird. But that's on today's show. In the first segment, I'm going to do the Cruise Pick'em. I will go game by game for the first time this season. I'll just talk about my picks for the games, including a surprise pick I have this week. Not even Captain knows about this yet. But Preston had to go down somehow on Preston's picks, which reminds me and reminding you, Office Pool Junkie, get your who you got and Preston's picks in. I'm surprised Captain hasn't done who you got, but that's a little bit tougher with the confidence meter. Our second segment will be unveiling the ladders and best bets. Now, for the record, Captain decided to tweet all the stuff out already, so I don't know if he's bringing any viewers today, but again, we have an announcement on why Captain is on a plane right now. Stay tuned for that. Captain's lazy. Shame on you. You could have at least tagged us, sir. I'm kidding. Captain's awesome, man. Before we get started, this show is presented by the amazing new NLL merchandise. I don't know if you heard, the NLL will release official merchandise via a web store. Reach that web store at natalkradio.us/NLL. Again, another way you can just help us out. And the best part is you're helping yourself out with that because you're literally getting league merchandise. We're talking Dane Smith. I might get a Josh Byrne player shirt. Del Bianco's on there. Brandon O'Neill. Lots of heavy hitters. They got some nice hoodies. Good stuff there. And a Toronto Rock logo I haven't seen before. So that's pretty cool. natalkradio.us/NLL. Again, we appreciate you. Get some swag and help us out. I mean, how hard is that? My goodness. Whatever, Captain. Again, we'll get to that, but I'm very excited for today's show. Which reminds me, I have to download actually, you already have it downloaded. A picture the Captain sent me. Not like that. He's giving out ZJs in more ways than one. But I wanted to make sure I show what he's bringing with him wherever he's going, and of course, we'll talk about that later. All right, folks, let's talk about the Cruise Pick'em, and let's do this game by game, shall we? The first reminder, yesterday I did the narrative, and we'll briefly touch on that. But again, today, starting things off bright and early in Halifax, California, Colorado comes to town. And a game, I'm telling you what, folks, this one it's tough. Good morning, Utica Yeti, and the great work they do on Blue Squatch Productions. But let's talk Colorado at Halifax. Early game, once again, the early Thunderbird gets the worm. I think a lot of people could look at this as an upset spot. But folks, and Captain, this is not, see, I told Captain there is a game I have switched on. It's not this one. Stay tuned for that. But no, I mean, basically, Colorado coming in, their offense has been god-awful. And I mean just terrible. So when you look at the fact that the Colorado Mammoth are coming in to this game with Jack Hanna, even though Ryan Lee's got the knee issue that's, I believe, got him out for the season now, after they said it buckled. That was from a camera guy that was in the arena. You know the fact that Georgia shut this team down twice? Guys, Halifax reminds me of Georgia, but with a better team defense and a better offense to complement. I know so many people are up in arms about the Halifax Thunderbirds offense. Folks, the only thing that I think is bad about this team is transition sometimes, and like reverse transition that Pat Gregoire talks about. But I'm going to be honest with you. I honestly feel like that this game will not be affected by that. The only chance I believe Colorado does lose is if Warren Hill's wheels fall off. And we have not seen that. I believe the only game that happened was on the back-to-back against Oshawa, and he got sat down early. Drew Hutchison pretty much played the rest of that game. But I do believe that the Thunderbirds are going to make another statement victory. I'm doing my pick'ems, and I don't want to give my stuff away, but this is the way I've been doing it recently. It's been working out. Is I believe in my hypothetical power rankings, if they do exist, and for me they do, obviously. I've got Colorado at 6. Actually, no, that's a lie. I put Colorado above Halifax this week, by the way. But in my brain, I feel like Halifax is still a step above. And I feel like that matters in a game that could be a heavyweight matchup. Now, granted, when myself and Captain handicapped this game, we were hoping for an under, but the Polar Bears did us no favors because the Polar Bears decided they were going to put this joker at 20.5. That is awful. I am not touching that now. But full disclosure, this would have been on my best bets. I think Halifax gets a victory 11-9. That would be my guess. I know it's still under 20.5, but if I think it's going to be that close, why sweat it? Like, let the Polar Bears have their change when they can, and we'll snipe them other ways. I've only got 3 best bets this week, by the way, so keep that in mind. But I do have a money line parlay that's 6 legs deep, baby. Oh, my. But, yeah, I think Halifax gets a win. I think they're going to strap on their boots. I think that Oshawa and Saskatchewan play a chippy style of getting under your skin. I don't think Colorado cares, and I think Halifax will be fine and not lose their heads this week, quite frankly. Next up, we're going to get to the game in Buffalo, Bandit Land, the Ottawa Black Bears at the Buffalo Bandits. Now, myself and Captain were talking about this game. Obviously, again, in those hypothetical power rankings in all of our heads, like I don't think anyone thinks otherwise. Buffalo, despite losing to Rochester and losing to Halifax, do we think Ottawa's as good as those teams? No, we actually think they're worse. And I think all of us believe Buffalo is at least 1 step, maybe 2 or 3 steps above. Like if there was like a tiers out there, Buffalo's in like the top tier, like maybe like the bottom of the top tier. Ottawa might be in tier 3. But here's the thing about this game. Is there a possibility, Campbell's chunky possible, whatever, but is there a possibility, and it's a slight one, that Ottawa's play style is going to bother Buffalo? Because Rochester, on a back-to-back, now their defense had a lot to do with this. Even though Zach Higgins is very capable, I don't think he's doing what Rylan Hartley's doing this year right now. But I do believe Ottawa's offense can catch fire. Another problem with Ottawa, though, is they're also going to allow a run. And I told you guys, like, the worst thing that could happen to Ottawa this week was the game against Rochester. Dane and Josh scored 2 goals on 35 combined shots. That is the worst thing the Black Bears wanted. Because if the Black Bears wanted to have a chance of an upset, I feel like Dane and Josh would have had like a hat trick each, and they didn't. They were not good. one of the worst games they probably played together when healthy. So that being, especially a regular season game. So that being said, I feel like Buffalo should really put in the work here and make things interesting. I think Buffalo is going to come away with a victory. I handicapped it at 14-11. Captain was also, I don't want to give his handicaps away, but he was also the same area of like higher scoring. I would like Buffalo's defense for once this year against a high-flying offense, so I just shut it down. And I think, like, even against Calgary, and I'm not saying Ottawa's as bad as Calgary, but it feels like Ottawa is still in that lower bracket, a fringe playoff team, and they're punching above their weight class. And again, you combine that with the fact that Dane and Josh had it felt like a donut, even though they both scored a goal. You add that in there, I believe now that the Buffalo Bandits, I feel much better about them. Now, I'll be full disclosure. Sometimes I'll do this on the show. I just talk myself into that bet at the money line. And so that will be added. Like, that's what I'm doing. I'm typing it up. But basically, if I'm like looking at this game, I think that the Buffalo Bandits are going to again keep Ottawa at arm's length. And if Ottawa goes up early, Buffalo does not want to get in a shootout with these guys because Rob Hellier and Jeff Teat have been a match made in heaven. But I think Buffalo stomps them down. Next up, we're going to head over to Edmonton, and that's where we have breaking news, folks. I probably should have downloaded this picture first. But we have breaking news here. It's why Captain is on I don't know what flight line, like what brand of airline it is, even though not that it matters. I mean, we've been getting free plugs all year, but bam, and you're like, well, why are you showing us this? These are business cards that Dilly Dive and Natter have made. It says NLL Sports. It says live sports, NLL discussion, and more. It says subscribe. That's on the back right there. It takes you to our YouTube channel. Captain's going to be handing those out because he'll be in Edmonton with a media pass. So we appreciate him. Again, all the work that he does. Nice countertop, too, by the way. I apologize. I should have removed the background, but who cares, you know? But yeah, Captain will be in Edmonton trying to engage the fans. Hopefully, there is more than 4,000. Ticketmaster tells another story, but I'm just so happy the Captain will be there. And so we appreciate him. CLL says, let's get embarrassed. Oh, yeah, so it's funny because, yeah, I love it. So he says, and this guy's not due picks, by the way. Halifax, Buffalo, Calgary, Vancouver, Rochester, Rush, and the Wings. Very interesting picks, sir, and you'll see why in a minute. All right, so let's go to Edmonton. Let's talk about the home team, Georgia Swarm. Guys, I'm going to be honest. Part of me wants to believe that the preseason was true. That Calgary is going to be one of the worst teams because I'm in Georgia, and while I'm not a Swarm fan, it is nice when the teams around here do well, okay? I'm not a bandwagon. I'm like a bandwagon home fan. It's nice to be able to have someone to root for locally. And by locally, I mean 4 hours away. The Jaguars are closer than the Falcons. I've told that story before. My point is with that, I think Calgary's playing way better than people thought. Aiden Walsh has been as good as he was in Vancouver, if not better considering the situation. Like, if you compare context, I think that Calgary's offense with Tanner Cook playing out of his mind. I believe he was on Lacrosse Matrix with Adam Levy this week. Tanner Cook playing out of his mind. Tyler Pace still doing Tyler Pace things. Noah Manning has made it to my top 4 in my rookie award race, guys. I think Calgary's better, and I don't want to say that, but my hot take I gave OTCB and their mailbag post for this week. I said Calgary's going to finish the season standings 12th or better. And one of the teams they might start leapfrogging is Georgia. I still am going to hold true that Georgia makes the playoffs because Brad Dobson has been as good as I told people he needed to be. The offense has done him this many favors. You and I, and forget Lyle Thompson and his fans, anybody on this show watching as a guest or myself could go out there and do better than what that offense has produced so far. It has been brutal. As bad as Oshawa was, Oshawa still has names on their team. If your biggest name is Shane Jackson and Lyle Thompson, or should I say the ghosts of those guys, Georgia's in trouble. This is clearly a rebuild year for Georgia. And I know people are saying, well, why not trade like Lyle? I don't mind it, but what does that do? Like what? Because I feel like Lyle Thompson's trade value is at an all-time low. Like you still might get a nice package, but you're not going to get the picks and players you may have gotten even a year ago. So if I'm Georgia, I sit on my hands and I wait for Lyle to start cracking back up and being good. Maybe it is before the trade deadline. And I know this turned into a random Georgia Sworn trade deadline segment here. I just feel like Georgia is going to look bad. I think I brutally, viciously, violently, so much hate for John Arlotta and the Swarm even agreeing to doing this game in Edmonton. I think it's absolutely criminal that the NLL thought that this was a good idea. And not just that they are the home team. It is stupid. It is dishonest. It is borderline unprofessional. Because what the heck are we doing? Hey, guys, welcome to Edmonton. Your home team, the Georgia Swarm. It's piss poor marketing, and they have done piss poor marketing. And I'm not trying to take away Captain's media pass here. I don't want that to happen. I just hate that Georgia's there. It makes no sense. Why can't San Diego or Saskatchewan or Colorado or Vancouver, all of those teams are closer? This is ridiculous, and it's not cool. It's also why there's a lot of speculation about Georgia might move to Edmonton. Baloney. It's not happening. And I'm not just saying that as a Georgia resident. I'm saying that as a person who gets around the universe in lacrosse media. That being said, the game itself, I think Calgary pulls away. Now, in this game, if you're fancy with the best bets here, there is a 21.5 on BetMGM. Again, a little bit low, but I capped this game 11-8. Captain went lower than that. I can see Calgary winning 10-5. Honest to God, I can see that happening. So we'll see what happens. I think Calgary wins. I don't know if I'm just buying that Calgary's been competitive, but when you are playing well against the guys that are way better than you, even giving Vancouver a run for their money, that's an issue for me. And Georgia's in trouble this week. Wow. What we're going to do now, let's do the San Diego-Vancouver game. And I'll take a quick water break here. And by that, I mean drinking, not obviously the other thing. Vancouver, I think, is not going to play with their toys here. I think San Diego has been every bit of not good this year. If there was an official time to fire Patrick Merrill, that time feels right about now. Because what if San Diego fools around and makes the playoffs and still, once again with the first round exit, that would still be a bad look. San Diego has helped this guy out so many times. Krista McAleary is taking steps backwards, and I do think while there's goalie coaches, that still falls on the head coach in the defense. Now, Origlieri is back on the roster this week, so he should start over Cameron Dunkerley. It don't matter. Vancouver is going to squash them, and I mean squash them good. And I'm going to check this live on the air, but I want to make sure that these odds are still holding up, because there is a flat robbery this week that is possible on Bet365. So I'm going to look that up for the people right now once I figure out how to operate this brand new stupid. What are we doing here? So apparently, that's annoying. Apparently, yeah, Apple had this random updates. Let me check. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, that's crazy. Unbelievable. Vancouver is a minus 120 on the money line on Bet365. So is San Diego. Folks, I'm telling you right now, this is one of the biggest guarantees of the season. This is a lock. Vancouver is going to win. Not only is this game in their home barn, San Diego has been awful. Oh my, that is bad. I don't know how. It's what Captain calls a sleepy book. It is bad. Was this the arbitrage game, Captain? I don't know if he's still in the chat or if his Wi-Fi is even holding. I'm checking it now. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's crazy because they're both minus 120, and Captain, this is crazy. He wagered $420 on Vancouver to win 770. He also put San Diego 336 to win 772. It's unbelievable how close that is. And I'm telling you folks right now, Vancouver's not losing this game. I don't know what this was. But Vancouver, my score was 11-8. Captain was similar. So, and the problem is, I don't want to do it the cover there, because I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like we could get screwed again, because last week they were in Calgary and won, and we're up 10-5 and won 11-10. I don't want to talk about it, but that's that. We're going to take a break. Millie, I'm going to take a break. You're watching Daily Dive. When we come back, we're going to finish those last 3 games for Saturday, and then we will get to the Cruise Pick'em. And stay tuned for best bets, including my ladder step 2. It worked. We're right back, folks. You're watching Daily Dive.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to Daily Dive. You are watching the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. I'm your host, what is my name? I'm your host, Michael Karvelis, here in Georgia. It's Friday, January 16th, 2026. Reminder, the NLL has released merchandise officially licensed on their store. Head over to natalkradio.us/NLL. It is the easiest and probably the best way to support your team and this show at the same time. natalkradio.us/NLL for officially licensed NLL merchandise, the shorts, the hoodies. If they had jerseys, oh my, you know what's funny? I actually got emotional, and Gamble guy, I was on the phone with him, and he was like, "Why are you emotional?" I was like, "Because I've been doing this show for 4 years. This is the biggest merchandise breakthrough the NLL has had since I've been doing the show, and I've been campaigning for it, being called negative, being called a hater, and it's finally here. So I'm on cloud 69 right now." All right, final 3 games for the NLL Week 8's lineup. They're all on Saturday, by the way, in case you didn't realize that. The first one is going to be Toronto in Rochester. And part of me, and again, stay tuned for the game that I flip-flopped on captain, so he's going to be not too happy. But no, I think Toronto, last night when I was like halfway asleep, there was a couple of games I was thinking about flipping on. This one was not one of them, but I was kind of like, are we officially buying too high on Rochester? Because Toronto this season, and I know, they have not been sexy. They're still only 2-2. It's kind of a small sample size at this point. Rochester, on a point where we were all right there, they got blasted by Colorado. And that meant something to me. I was like, wait a minute. I'm over here looking at the Buffalo, and you guys getting your butts wiped with Colorado. So I'm like, that's weird. Toronto just went into San Diego. Nick Rose played another good game, or another good regular season game, as he does. CJ Kirst, even though I don't know how sustainable this is, CJ Kirst was a guy who went in there and scored 5 goals. So I think Rochester wins this game, but I don't know if it'll be comfortable. I'm hoping it is. I'm high on Rochester, but again, last time we were this high on Rochester, they wet the bed against Colorado. Now, granted, that game was in Colorado, so that does matter. But man, I'm like, I hope it's not a letdown spot, especially for those fans, because remember, Buffalo just helped them get their highest ever for New Rochester, their highest attendance ever. So you go into this game welcoming Toronto, a similar area fan base. Why not? Or are you going to let them down? I don't know. I think Rochester gets a win. My prediction was 13-10. I do respect Toronto's offense. I do think Buffalo was not good. So I'm going to give Toronto a little bit of credit there. I do think Toronto's offense has to step up. But I wonder if Nick Rose can kind of help keep things level here. We'll have to see. All right, next up, our second to last game, the Oshawa Firewolves and the Saskatchewan Rush. Reminder, there's a Jake Naso interview that aired yesterday on the show. I will post that as a separate segment on YouTube today. Shame on me for not doing that, but I'm just trying to give people a little bit of credit there. Had to let you guys watch it and consume it, but it'll be its own thing. So Jake Naso was on the show yesterday, but I was talking to him about the fact that Oshawa's finally catching fire. And I talked about on the narrative, creating the narrative yesterday. Can the Oshawa Firewolves come in there and make a statement. Because this is another spot where it feels like kind of a letdown spot for Saskatchewan. We're all high on Saskatchewan. We know how good they are. We know how good they are on the road. Is it going to be enough at home? Has Oshawa finally committed to going inside? Are they going to? Is Ty Kurtz? Is his shot officially back? I am wondering how it's going to work. Because remember, the Rush are not undefeated. And Jake Naso did admit to us yesterday, it was kind of a rocky start for them. I told him that's funny, considering it's a 5-1 start right now. But through the first third of the season, as he called it, the first 6 games, they did blow a fourth quarter to the Black Bears. And Jeff Teat turned to Jesus Christ. And then Saskatchewan, they were tough against Calgary. That game was in Saskatchewan. Georgia, 7-4. I'm not so sure Saskatchewan, and I told you guys they are my favorites right now. But make no mistake, Oshawa could come in here as a dark horse and get a win. That being said, I still went with the Saskatchewan Rush. I've got the Rush winning 11-8. But mark my words, this is another game where it's not just like, oh yeah, Saskatchewan's better. Preseason, I thought Oshawa could compete. And that's saying maybe a random regular season game, they do compete and win. I don't know. I'm going with Saskatchewan, but I think this, again, feels like a letdown spot. I'm going to get to my preseason predictions here. I picked the Rush to win this game. It's funny, I actually had the Rush at 6-1 at this point. So I'm kind of on the same. I've kind of been getting Saskatchewan's schedule pretty right here. But I figured this would be a tough game for Oshawa. And I figured they could keep it close. I still believe that. I think we're going to get a grinded out kind of game. The best bets for this game, none of us are on it. But the total on this game is, I wanted 22.5. It's 20.5 everywhere you turn. I don't like it, but if there's a game that could do it, it's this one. But also, Oshawa's offense and Saskatchewan's offense has been better than advertised. The over actually might be a sweet play here. We might reach 21 or 22 and call it a night. I don't mind it. I hate when I smack my. It's so dumb. Anyways, all right, our final game of the weekend here, and then we'll unveil the Cruise pick'em. In fact, why don't I just do that now? Because, Captain, I have to admit to you, sir. First of all, here it is. You've got by the way, Captain is joining the chat on pick'em. He is 8-0. I will give him the Preston's picks nod from last week. We didn't feel like calculating the entire season so far. He's also missed a week or two as well. So, me and Captain have Halifax. Tim Dillon, God bless him, has got Colorado. I don't hate it. That's probably like a Will Malcolm loading thing. I don't know. I'm kidding. Myself and Tim Dillon have Buffalo. Captain went balls to the wall and picked Ottawa. We all have Calgary, boring. We all have Vancouver, boring. We all have Rochester, which means Georgia, San Diego, and Toronto will win. I'm kidding. But Captain, I did it, man. I pulled the trigger. We all have the Rush, by the way. I think the Wings, I got them. Give me the Wings. And I'll tell you what really convinced me here. And this might be a bad data point for me, but something was peculiar in the last Las Vegas game. Not only is Landon Kells on Swiss cheese watch, in fact, that's a new thing I'm adding here to the show, is every time a goalie is a little bit wet, letting in a little bit of leaky stuff, and it's not diapers, I'm going to have to say that he's on Swiss cheese watch. So that being said, I believe not only are the Philadelphia Wings going to get to Landon Kells, I'm also of the mindset that what Ryan Keenan did on the same side of the floor that CJ Kurz plays, I think CJ Kurz has another nice game. I think not Mark Matthews and CJ Kurz, Brandon O'Neal is what I mean here. I'm sorry. I've been doing that. Like the two are great athletes. My bad. I think Brandon O'Neal is going to have a big game. Brandon O'Neal's been good to start the year. This season for the Philadelphia Wings, despite them having a balanced offense, he leads the team in goals with 10. He's tied with Joe Rez with 12 assists. And for him, oh my God, Brandon O'Neal has 11 of his 12 assists as primary. That's pretty stinking awesome. Where does that rank? I'm like, that's crazy to me. I just realized that. Currently, okay, it's 25. I forgot about that. So 24 of Jeff Teet's 30 assists are primary. So, okay, 11 of 12, though, the percentage is up there. Other guys have more assists. I get it. But, yeah, I think Brandon O'Neal is going to also have a big game. And I know I'm not saying the Wings or the Rush, but if Landon Kells is going to do the Olay thing with the goals, and I think that can happen. And by the way, Philadelphia was kind of competitive with Rochester for a couple of games there. I think the Wings, this is a spot where, again, I feel like they could win. So, Captain, I flip-flopped with I think Wings get it. And Wings might be the worst team in the league right now. But does that mean they can't pull an upset? No, because the Desert Dogs are not that high above them. So, again, our pickups for this week. Tim Dillon is fading us on Halifax game. Captain's got Ottawa. We're all pretty chalk after that. But I've got the Wings, and I might pay for it. But Captain may have had an 8-0 week. I had a 7-1 week, including a 6-1 on best bets. Yeah, I added the Buffalo thing to my record. I'm transparent. I'm going to do it. All right. When we come back to this awesome show, it's time to put our money where our mouth is. I will tell you what Captain has on his Twitter already, in case you missed it, for his ladder. I will also unveil my safe ladder, step 2. I'm just going to leave the greedy ladder alone this week. I'm just going to keep climbing on step 2 of the safe ladder. Also will unveil the crew's best bets, which includes Pat Gregoire. He might add more later for the record. He's kind of busy, but he does have 2 of them. I've got 4 now. We right back, folks, to Dilly Dive. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
Welcome back to Dilly Dive, the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. I love when Twitter decides to crap itself. I don't know if it's actually no, it is. And I'm pretty sure we have Wi-Fi, so that is just because if we didn't, we wouldn't be live, and YouTube wouldn't be. That's so weird. Twitter once again is having a down day. I just love that. If it's not Verizon, it's Twitter. Unbelievable. Early on, I talked about the cruise picks. Now it's time for our best bets and ladders. Captain already posted his. He got frisky, by the way. So Captain is on. He's got a lotto parlay. This is plus 5-2. Well, it's plus 52.28 odds on DraftKings. Ottawa Black Bears Buffalo Bandits are over 21.5. I like that. Warriors to cover against the Seals. Roughnecks Swarm. He didn't say what that is. So, got him. Yeah, he didn't say what that was. So, Calgary, Georgia. There you go. Saskatchewan money line against Oshawa. Nighthawks. What the heck? I'm sorry. Nighthawks to cover against the Rock. Thunderbirds money line. Dogs money line. That's crazy. I don't know what the Calgary, Georgia play is. All right, but for his ladders, though, again, these are already on Twitter at LCAPE10picks. He is on step 1 of the safe ladder again, doing the Vancouver Warriors money line, $50 to make $91.66 on Bet365. His greedy ladder is reached step 2. It is now at $296.89 on its road to $10,000. And step 2 is going to be to reach $800. It's going to be Vancouver and Rochester money line parlayed. Now, I actually like that play a lot. Again, the league has released NLL merchandise. The league has released merchandise. Head over to natalkradio.us/NLL to see things like Jeff T shirts, all kind of player shirts, by the way. Hoodies like this Toronto Rock beauty. But yeah, great stuff there. natalkradio.us/NLL. Give us credits while you represent your team. Alrighty. So, I will now unveil my safe ladder, step 2. Again, nothing fancy here. There's my little Pixar character on a step. I said it was a step ladder, but yeah. This is presented by Elevated Truck and Crane. Great people, by the way. 647-218-2648. I've got Warriors money line, and mine is on DraftKings. So Captain got the ability to start his on 365 because his was not good last week. So I'm going to stick on DraftKings. We're going to do a Warriors money line, $88 to reach 141. I mean, I wouldn't mind parlaying that. Let's just stay safe here. Let's do a little step ladder. Nothing too big. We ain't going to fall. And if we fall, I fall hard as a big dude. So it is what it is. 88 to 141. And once we reach 141, step 3 to step 4 is going to be a massive step in the right direction. Ha ha! All right, so there's that. Again, I don't mind the parlay. I'll probably add a greedy ladder at the show. How's that? Finally, it's time for the cruise best bets. Pat's only got 2 so far. There they are. All right, so after a 6-1 week, I added the Buffalo Bandits. They screwed me. There was a conspiracy in NLL against me. Scott Loeffler replied saying 6-1. Shame on you, sir. Focus on your game. I'm kidding. So here it is for week 8. I'm now at a winning record, thank God. I've got Bandits money line. That is at minus 190 on BetMGM. For those wondering, the rules on this show, all best bets are minus 190 or greater value. We ain't got no cheap crap here. So that's the limit. I went with it on BetMGM. That's the only place that's available. Warriors money line, minus 120 on Bet365. I will eat that and like it. Roughnecks money line, it's Georgia minus 110 on the Polar Bears, and Nighthawks money line. There we go. So, by the way, Roughnecks being that good this early shows you, like, I am locked in to this team. I think Georgia is that much worse right now. My power rankings might reflect it soon. Gamble Guy, who was at 14-10, also went with the Bandits money line at minus 190 on BetMGM. He also added the Mammoth plus 1.5 against the Thunderbirds. I do not like plus 1.5. I feel like if you're going to do that, you might as well go with the money line. He thinks it could be a 1-goal game. I don't know. Mammoth on plus 1.5 is minus 105 on DraftKings. Warriors to cover. I do like that. I thought money line was too easy there. Warriors to cover is at minus 105 on BetMGM. And the Roughnecks money line against the Swarm is minus 110, again, on Cool Bets. And again, you look at my money line for the Warriors, minus 120. It's minus 105 to cover. Just take the minus 120, man. There's no way that's not going to work. Pat Gregoire, 17-11, leading the pack right now. So far, he's got Warriors to cover against the Seals, and he's got the Roughnecks plus 1.5 against Georgia. The fact they are plus 1.5 is criminal. Shout to Pat for just taking that. I thought minus 110 was too good to take there, but Roughnecks plus 1.5 is just feels like a robbery of the Polar Bears. Like you're going to walk into an igloo, put your hands on the ground, like put your hands in the air. Oh no! The Polar Bears are like in shambles, and then like you say, give me all your money. So they go into this like cool bet safe, and that story ends there for now. All right, cliffhanger. It's terrible. All right, thanks so much for watching today's show. And again, in case you have not heard, this is real. So we are trying to help ourselves out as well and get on this wagon as well. The NLL has released merchandise like this hoodie and like this player shirt. This is real. This is happening. Head over to natalkradio.us/NLL. You literally can support your favorite team and your favorite daily show. It goes straight there. I promise you. This is not us trying to shaft you. This is their merchandise. You're welcome. Stay safe, everybody. Captain is in Edmonton. If you are one of the 4,000 people there, tell them, hey. And we're excited for that as well. Pat Gregoire, Teddy Jenner, Chantel Chan will be on the call for a TSN doubleheader. That is the second leg of a TSN doubleheader. I believe the first leg, let me check that schedule from the NLL one more time before. I know everyone already knows this, but if you are in Canada, I don't know. This thing is dumb. If you are in Canada, it's Ottawa Buffalo. Okay. Doubleheader TSN, Ottawa Buffalo, Calgary, Georgia, in Edmonton. I don't even know what that means, but it does. But yeah. What is your best bets? What are your picks? And again, CLL, we were aligned on our pick'ems. There we go. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Stay safe this weekend. I'm your host, Michael Karvelis. Have a great rest of your day. Adios, baby.